16 years you spent in.
Yeah.
Now, do you get retirement? Is there there's no retirement plan?
You need to have 45 years of service.
What? 45 years. Wow.
And then what is the retirement?
Money-wise,
Yeah.
it's bullshit, man.
You get your taxes back.
That's why people say this. People, and again, I'm proud of my Italian origin. I'm proud when the people come to a restaurant and says, "Oh, we'll go to live in Italy right away because blah blah blah." I say, man, you don't know what you're talking about. You want to go on vacation. You want to enjoy Italy. You want to enjoy France. France, maybe not, but you want to enjoy the vacation. But you want to live in America, man. Because that's the best country in the world, man. I don't care what the people says. It's the best country in the world because you have the capability, if you work hard, if you push yourself, you have dedication, you still have the capability in America to make it. It's, I think it's the last country in the world, maybe, I don't know, Australia, don't get me wrong. It's the last country in the world that you still can make it if you actually are worthy to put work.
It's so interesting you saying that because, it's called the American Dream.
Yeah.
It's
still present,
people here believe that the American dream is lost. It's gone. And so to hear from you, recent immigrant 13 years ago or so is still,
But let me explain this, my friend. If American dream was dead, why everybody wants to come here?
Great point.
I mean, you don't have to be a fucking rocket scientist to understand that America is the number one destination to people that want to go away from the country they're living in. Why? Probably because everybody thinks it's the best.
Yeah.
Now, we have problem here, man. Come on. Any country has problem. Different problem, different situation. But the reality is if you put in a balance, the pros and cons, you want to live here.
What's some stereotypes that you think got dispelled when you moved here that you had about Americans, or even when you started working with them?
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
When you say, we want to make the distinction. Working with them, I always work with high, very professional people.
Right.
So, amazing people.
Right.
Amazing people. Come here, unfortunately, I need to be honest.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the school system here create a bunch of zombie, a bunch of retarded. I mean, you don't have to, you know Leonardo da Vinci, right? You guys know Leonardo da Vinci, right? You don't have to know Leonardo da Vinci to have your life better. Absolutely. You can go and be a lawyer without even know who's Leonardo da Vinci or who painted the Sistine Chapel or was Baudelaire, was Michelangelo. There's no way. But that thing is part of where we come from. That's build your backbone of what you are. So here, people should learn history, should learn what we went through, what the society went through. It doesn't help to fix your car. No, was Leonardo da Vinci was it? But maybe know that he's the one that actually invented the helicopter is going to give you an insight. I mean, we're missing culture. Mm-hmm. We are too oriented to practical teaching, try to fix a car, to fix a window, to do that. We are forgetting that the philosophical side.
The classical education.
Classical education. That's we fail here. And that's what I miss.
What do you think is the real negative impact of that though? It's kind of annoying.
People have no depth.
Huh?
People have no depth in their soul. Simple as that, man. If you don't know art, if you don't know philosophy, you don't know, because you can't live 1,000 lives, right? So what is the best things you can do to live another life?
Learn about it.
Read in a book. Mm-hmm. That's the only way. If I'm reading the history of these guys, that person, I'm making their experience my experience so I can learn. If you want to just learn of all just the experience you're going through, I mean, you can.
Yeah.
With the Italian school system, the primary education being more trade-like, do you think America would adopt that? Would it be good for American school system?
In America, in college, they teach what we teach people in high school.
Yes.
As simple as that. That's the level of difference education. Now, the top of the hill, the difference. So, for example, in Italy, you want to teach history at the school. You need to go to the classical school. You need to learn Italian, history, geography, chemicals, art, philosophy, blah blah blah. So you know all of them. In America, you can learn history. So at the end of the day, you maybe the American guy graduate in history itself knows more history than an Italian guy that has to learn everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but if you asked a plumber from Italy and a plumber from America, the plumber from Italy is going to know more classical information.
The plumber reader is probably going to fix your conditioning too.
because they're trained to, they're cross-trained.
But he's going to take 3 weeks to get there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So we are used to make things work with nothing.
You know, there's what you're talking about though makes a lot of sense from like even the work environment. Being a jack of all trades has been a lost art. I mean, people now feel like for the longest time that they had to be specialized in something,
Correct.
accounting or whatever. And now all of a sudden you're seeing that if you are a jack of all trades, which I consider myself one, where I know a little bit of everything and I'm dangerous in that sense. But I had teams that I've built. And I tell them, I go, you know, there's a small organization of people that can see kind of what I call the ones and zeros falling from the sky, like the Matrix. You can actually see what's going on around you, and you know what's coming around the bend. You know how to react to it, how to make it better,
Correct.
problem solver, the whole bit, because you're more well-rounded. I think that's kind of what you're talking about. That back in the day, it used to be called the liberal arts degree.
Yeah.
And now we've moved away from that.
Well, also it's condemned.
Well, that's
In modern
unfortunate.
society,
Yeah.
now if you have a liberal arts degree, it's a waste of money.
Well, because the liberal arts degree has gotten away from being a jack of all trades and gotten into being a political stunt for a university to push
fair.
propaganda.
And what that does, though, is also maybe not give a sense of identity, a cultural tribe connection as well, because you're just kind of fragmented all over the place. And
Yeah, I have a liberal arts degree, so I can
Oh,
totally say that.
there
So
you go. You're one of the last few.
yeah, I have a liberal arts degree. Like I was a history major, and then obviously I got asked to not be in college anymore, and I had to go to the Army, and then but everything gathered back up, and I had enough credits I had to complete some stuff to get a liberal arts degree in management. So it's like a broad spectrum management.
Yeah.
Coming from a country where, you guys were at one time frame conscripted to go into the service and later stage than what we were, because ours ended in Vietnam when the war was over in 1974 or so. So for you guys, it lasted until I think you had said the 1990s.
I think it's something around the 19. Don't quote me on that. The 92, 93, something like that.
Yeah. So now we're getting back into a stage, and we had talked about this on another podcast episode about society-wise in America, especially the families used to be very large. You know, it'd be 8, 10 kids or so. Now they're down to like 2 maybe, or 1, or not even any at all. And we're having challenges with birth rates are down considerably. A recent announcement was that we're going to probably start having women register for the Selective Service. Some are even thinking we may have to go to the draft. What are your thoughts on that?
You know Israel?
Yes.
You know that even female go to 3 years of training in the army in Israel? I work on a show with Gal Gadot. The show was called Red Notice. I play a bad guy and she's kicking me in the face. Whatever. And she went, I talked to her. She went 3 years, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. 3 years, so real army experience. So with that said, oh my God, they're gonna go. There is a motto that's going out right now that everybody's keep repeating that. I don't understand if people understand the motto. It's bad time makes strong people. Strong people make good time. Good time make weak people. Right? What's the meaning of that? Is that in a society that allow you to do whatever you want with no problem, everybody's giving to you, why you need to fight for? But the point is, humans in the history tell you that tides change. And when tides change, you don't have strong men to run the country, then it's a shit show start. So, coming back to conscription, I think every normal country in the planet needs to have at least 6 months, 1 month where everybody, man or female, go serve the country in the best capability they can, and that's it. Because that's gonna give them sense of participation, sense of pride,
Stewardship.
exactly. And so I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
You know, the other side of that too is that, you know, you see a lot of people get off active duty and they end up having some kind of sense of service. So I think what the military does is builds that within us. We served, so we feel now we need to give back to others.
I understand. Yes, that's the ideally. The main core what the military does is the brotherhood.
Yeah.
And unless you're an asshole, but if you have to be a special forces. If you go to normal training, some days are tough. And when you turn yourself, and that's your friend that's going to the same hell with you, and you help each other, that's the bond you create. And when you leave, that's a bond you're missing. One of the things I'm missing, I'm being a special forces, that's the bond I have on my team. Even there was some assholes in my team, they're still assholes. They know where they are. But the sense of help somebody in need, because you're gonna be in the same, you can be in the same way. So believe it or not, army give people empathy, meaning that if the guy's gone bad, or maybe I can be in the same position, let me help him. And that's what we're missing right now here in this society is actually empathy. Everybody's, I don't know, sure, it's still a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. So when did you start getting into stunts, doing stunt work?
Well, I was in Afghanistan. So the story is my mom and my sister came here and opened a restaurant, 2009. The first customers of this restaurant was a guy named Bobby Vasquez. Bobby Vasquez, he was an ex-Special Forces, Green Beret, and was running a special effect company in the movie business. They met my mom, and my mom is mom, right? Mom, she started to tell him, oh, my son is in Afghanistan, now he's going to go here, then he's going to go there, blah, blah, blah. Short story, after 1 year of brainwashing about my mom, I got an email from this Bobby, says, look, I want to sponsor you, you want to work in the movie business? My answer was, I just know to blow things up, man. I don't know anything about special effects in the movie business. And he said, well, I'll teach you. So I take a leap of faith, and I say, you know what? America was always my dream, and I think I'm done here. Let me try. So I went here and I worked as a special effect technician for these guys, Bobby Vasquez, for a year and a half. Now, Bobby Vasquez was the president of Local 479 here in Georgia. He was the one that actually convinced Dan Cathy to talk to Pinewood Studios in London, and they opened the Pinewood Studios thanks to Bob Vasquez.
I didn't know that. So I didn't know the Pinewood Studios connection, but a lot of people don't know that this area, I was just going to say, this area...
Don't let me go there, because don't let me go there. I'm just telling you that anybody needs to be grateful that Bobby Vasquez pulled the strings to convince Dan Cathy to open the studios here.
This is the largest. We make more movies and shows here in Georgia than they do in Hollywood, California.
Now there's a strike, it's a negotiation. It's kind of different right now, but it's going to come back. But yes, it's the number one hub. So I started to work with him as a special effects technician. Then he died. Then my mom died. So the restaurant got in a bad position because my sister partner stole everything for the restaurant. So I really found myself with no job, no future, no connection, no money. So I start to wash dishes in my restaurant. for 2 years, washing dishes, whatever you need to do. And the struggle was great, was huge, man, because I still have 1 year of leeway that I'm going to be able to go back as a captain in Special Forces. So I still had to decide what to do. Keep washing dishes at the restaurant or working back at the Special Forces in Italy. So there was movie casting call from Insurgent. They're looking for a bunch of people. I shows up. And then Duffy, the Navy SEALs, was running the selection, asked me to do one things, raise my hand, and that's it.
You've been
That's
doing that now, what, like 11 years or so?
2013, so 11 years, yes.
Yeah. Incredible.
And I work on more than 160 production. Thanks to who? To Duffy. That is now is probably in San Diego, surfing some waves or running a motorbike. But thanks to the training that I did. That's why when people say, oh, you were lucky. Fuck no. I was ready when the opportunities knocked on my door. After 16 years of what I did, I was ready. I wasn't lucky. You need to build your own luck. To be ready when the opportunities knocks. Simple as that.
I like that saying, to be your luck.
Yeah.
You had an interesting experience that I read about. You did an article or something where somebody asked you about a stunt gone bad. And I remember reading about where you were dropped in a car and I think you were inside and you couldn't find the oxygen or something.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that.
That's a Navy SEALs. That's there.
Yeah.
So it was a show. It was a show in Florida, and the stunt is basically it was called Death by Magic. So it was Houdini stunts be remade by these actors, and of course they're magic, so they're not real, right? So I was stunt double him, and my job was be in the car, chain at the steering wheels, chain my neck. On the top of the roof of the car, there was an hose, a firefighter hose that was dropping, I don't know how many hundreds of gallons a minute. Fill the tank, need to struggle, to the camera see them struggle, then they cover the car, and then when they open back the car, I'm not there, right? So the trick part is the current of the water was very, 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 very high. I mean, imagine like hundreds of gallons of water right here rushing you and your chain. Of course, the chain are fake. There's all the things you need to do to free yourself, right? There's no real chain. But the things you need to do without oxygen. And I used to have an oxygen tank here as an emergency, and I need to go back in that back spot. There's another oxygen tank, all right? So what is and the deal with it was a Navy SEALs outside, ready to go to break everything to take me out of the car if things go wrong. And the emergency was me put my hands on the window, on the glass. So when my hands is there, they see that I have a problem. So think about the bond that I create in 2 days. These guys, with these Navy SEALs, and give to these guys my life in his own hand. Because I know that the only way to survive, things go south, is my hand and the Navy SEALs be ready to crash the car and get me out. That's the bond I'm talking about with two Special Force people. So the stunt went that I start to free myself. When I go there, to go on the back, the cord that was going on, knocked the respirators out. So I lost my tank. And I was 25 seconds with already no breathing. So I need to go back because I know they pulled the curtain. So I have time to go back. I need to be fast. I'm going back and you can't say shit. And I'm trying to find the other tank. And I remember the time that's when the training kicked in. Calm down. Because if you don't calm down, your breath, you burn oxygen way faster. Calm down. Let me find it, relax. So I put on my hand. I find the canister. So I follow the canister. I follow the pipe. I breathe, and then that's it. So, but that's the training that the Special Force gave to me to be cool when things go south. Because actually, if you don't cool,
Did you learn actual techniques to calm your nervous system?
yes, we do. Believe it or not, we do meditation too.
That's awesome.
Like box breathing meditation?
No, not just
Like mindfulness.
Okay.
One of my instructor, two of my instructor, they like nicknames Max and Mux, or Max, where's Mux? They actually spend time to us to have sit down in the forest and breathing, meditating.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of like special operations guys that was one of the things that really hit them the most is being able to deal with traumatic situations and stuff. Even post was the meditation, being able to just calm the moment.
And it's something I still find useful right now to try to calm myself. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes you have flashback what you did and it's just what you saw. And there's one story that's always stick in my mind. We were in a mission. He was going in somewhere in Afghanistan, and there was a pile of clothing on the corner of the street, like a big pile of clothing. So when you see something, you always there's an AOD something you need to try to avoid, and then we see the pile of clothing move. So everybody on alert, all the weapons drawn to them, and we stop. It was an open field. It was unlikely. It was an ambush. It was desert. It was nothing unless people pop up from the sand. It was nice. So the situation was something's off because who put an AOD right there and it's moving, right? Doesn't make sense. So I called, at the time I was a lieutenant. I called my captain and I said, I'm going to go check on foot. So I called my medic. Call my medic, my RT guy, and my snipers. We go and we approach the target. We approach the things, yelling, "What's up? Show me your hands, whatever." And no move. So we go close. The tension goes high. I mean, it's a fraction of a second that you pull the trigger if something goes wrong. And the guy opened the curtain. There was a 5-year-old kid with an 100-degree of fever, struggling to do something. He was trying to reach the hospital in the desert. When we found him, he probably was another 2 hours, 3 hours of walk in the desert, July. And then that's when humanity kicking, and you can't just ignore that. So my medic gave to him the best we have on the spot. I ask if you can divert the mission and bring them to the hospital. Of course, they say, no, you can't. So I just left, and in my back of the mirror, on my heavy armor car, I saw the guy take back the child and start to walk to try to bring his 4 years old to the hospital. There's no training that they're gonna make ready for that. You need to keep going. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. But then you realize that that's why I always keep telling people you need to respect your enemy. Because believe it or not, they fight for something they believe. Mm-hmm. True or wrong, they still fight for something they believe.
They're a father. They're a son.
Father,
they're
a
a
son.
brother.
Now,
Yep.
there are bad people around that these people need to take them out. But at some point, these guys were somebody's mother, somebody's father. Somehow they went on that path, and now maybe it's irredeemable, and then too bad, now you need to go. But you can't just not thinking. If you take out the equation, our brain, our soul, to think, we become a robot. That's the target. Boom, done, next one. And we can't be like that.
Yeah. Don't you think that happens, though, a lot of times in combat, where you end up getting a little bit more into that narrow focus? You forget that humanity side.
You dehumanize your enemy.
Yes. You have to
It's a coping mechanism, man. Mm-hmm. It's a coping mechanism. I mean, people that tell me that they're fun to killing people, I mean, it's wrong. I I mean, as having somebody in front of you pull the trick and see the guys go down, it's nothing fancy, man. It's nothing fancy. At the point, it's your life again, or his life, so whatever, right? It's not. I'm not saying no regret. That's how you have to do. That's it. But you can't go home and say, oh, yeah, I kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Just.
Do you think it's like in your experience of meeting those people, do you think they actually mean that, or that's something that they've just took on to cope, that they enjoyed it?
I think it is the coping mechanism. Because I never see a guy, a trainer in my life, tell them, oh, no, you need to be an asshole. No. I think it's a coping mechanism in weak people that they don't have the strength to actually understand what's going on. It's easier to them to put like an asshole enemy in front of you.
Yeah.
It's easier. When you diminish your enemy, it's easier to fight. It's why you need to have respect to your enemy. That is hard to fight, but I think it's the way it's supposed to be.
We were talking off air before we got on about post-traumatic stress, and I know in America here we're seeing a lot more suicides for individuals who experience some challenges, and I think some of that is because of that being that silent professional and trying to compartmentalize and not talk and vocalize and communicate what happened in the trauma to deal with it. Did you see some of the same things from fellow Italian veterans?
Well, I think yes, it's kind of different because Italian people are different. We are different breed, but the problem of the stress, the post-traumatic stress, like she mentioned before, that when you go at 20 years old, you first sometimes you're too young. You're really too young because you need to have your core build. That's why you're never gonna find a 17 years old guy in the special forces. You're never gonna find them. When you're young, you see some traumatic event. You may become man up for 10 years. Then, like she say, it's coming back. So the only way to do is deal with the problem right away. That's all you say. Is you need to face your demon as soon as you can. But one of the main problems that I see in America with this high rate of suicide is that I don't know if I'm gonna right to say these things, but that I'm gonna say anyway. Is that there's too many fucking dumb hassles in the civilian world here. They don't understand how the guy that you're talking to went through. So if a guy went to war, went to training, and he was charged of multi-million dollars equipment, 100 people below him, and then he's asking to you a job at Kroger, and you deny to him because he doesn't have the capability to do that, means you don't understand nothing.
Or VA healthcare, you can't get healthcare properly.
Sorry, you were saying essentially like there aren't enough trained qualified clinicians to treat the individual?
No, I'm saying that the civilian people have no clue of what we went through, and they're diminishing themselves, though he has supposed to be soldiers. And that's why it makes us frustrating. Because think about this. Captain of Special Forces, I'm applying to a job, in any job, and I see that everybody that I can see in front of me, below, in front of me, has no work ethic, has no sense of respect for the authority, nothing whatsoever, and they still can make more money than me because I'm just new. It's just a simple example of what that's a problem in the veterans facing right now. Veterans in America, people that went to war, they are a different breed, man. Wrong or right, they're a different breed. So you need to understand that these guys are an asset. Even if they don't know how to flip burger right away. Even if they don't know how to work in the medical
We talked about that yesterday. We talked about
but they are an asset. I'm damn sure if I find 10 people who work for me in the room.
How do you explain that to a capitalistic society?
Well, that's now
they're
you
not
go
being paid to kill anymore.
right, but that's not capitalist. You say capitalism. That's you go to economics. Economics, okay, extreme capitalist doesn't work because extreme capitalism is just focused on money wise.
Yeah.
Controlled capitalism is still the only way to work because socialist doesn't work in every country in the world. So, of course, you need to be able to, you run your company, you need to have people that work for you give the company what they need to give to
value.
make I mean, that's what it is. But what is the human side now?
Where's the money in the human side?
There is no money on human side till one point, man. There is a lot of company. Why nobody wants to leave Ferrari? Work for Ferrari? Why nobody wants to leave Tesla? Why people want to leave this company? Because even if it's hard work, these people that owns this company treat them good.
Yeah.
And that's go a long way. Why you can find more people handle people with crap in a lower company, when you reach high company, usually, you can find the better treatment for everybody. Because I'm pretty sure that a guy is more willing to give overtime for free if your boss is with you sweating to make things happen. Unless you're going to fix that. Fucking your company. Yeah, sure, I'm going to fix that. Bye. Lead it by example. Again, in your life, you can lead it by two ways. You can lead it by fear, or you can lead it by example. At the beginning, they both work the same way. Problem is, if you lead it by fear, and things happen to you, people are going to jump on your throat to take you out. If you lead it by example, and you're in trouble, you can find your team step by in.
So do you think that a veteran who's transitioning that's looking for a job should really try to suit out like the culture first to make sure that they will be respected regardless of the trade that they're entering?
Ani, this is a tough question, because how much desperate you need the money?
Yeah.
If you are desperate need the
but
money,
if you won't be alive in 5 years because you kill yourself because you don't understand.
I understand.
Yeah.
But if you need to put food on the table, your family, and sometimes you need to take the shitty job.
That ends up what usually happens is that people end up taking jobs that are less desirable and not where their passion's at. But I still go back to, and I would agree with you, that it comes down to the individual leaders and managers of how those people are being treated, right? Are they being equally respected? Because the number one reason why people leave a company is poor management.
Absolutely.
So it makes total sense. But I do understand what you're saying, though, about the culture. If you're not a good cultural fit for that organization, you just damn well better know as you're walking in the door that this is a lily pad opportunity. It's a short fix.
When I was in my gap year from undergrad to grad school, and in grad school, I worked for Lululemon, the women's athletic apparel company. And the culture is so good. The way that they treat people, the way they train people. Like, I wasn't making much money, but I would still transfer another store wherever I worked because like it became a home base for me because it was good culture.
Yeah, so that's very important. So that's the way to do things, man. That's
Alessandro, we could sit here and talk with you for like another hour and a half. I do want you to give a plug for your restaurant and tell people about it and stuff. So
the restaurant is located in Senoia, in Main Street, 18 Main Street. It's called Borgo Italia. My sister opened the restaurant 14 years ago. They serve really authentic Italian food. So not the Alfredo chicken parmes, that's or meatballs or whatever you're gonna put the meatballs on it. We serve really Italian food. We have the most extensive wine list in Georgia for Italian wine, and we are blessed to be in Senoia. It's a wonderful city.
Yeah. And then how can people find you on like social media and stuff like that if they want to keep up with you? Facebook, Instagram?
I just put my name on Instagram, on Google, on Facebook, whatever. You're gonna see that's me. And then that's the one thing I want to tell everybody. It's a guy, especially in a soldiers, whatever, it's in a bad situation. Just reach to people they can trust. For example, in Senoia, in front of my restaurant, there's a Masonic lodge called 82. And they give me right here, not the money, not the money. They give me the number. The name of the guy is called two organization. It's called Operation Tackle Box.
Yeah.
And June 2nd Chance Ranch in Yunnan. this company, what they do, they are trying to help veterans in anything they can. So if you go to the Lodge 82 in Senoia, you knock the door. As soon as you enter, you see the veteran things, and you don't have to be a part of the lodge. You just have to be a veterans, and there is a way they help veterans locally to help achieve what they need to achieve. There is another organization that's freaking forget the name. It's on my Instagram. So years ago, these guys, I met these guys at the restaurant because he met me because he knew I was there. He's going around with a Spartan sword.
Like an authentic one?
Made with the steel of the Twin Towers. He's going around each country, each state, to find veterans that are struggling. And when they find the veteran struggling, they go them, they ask the veteran to swear on the sword that if they're ever going to need a trouble, the first thing they're going to do, it's called a body.
That's powerful.
It is. Because most of them, that's the reason they
When
join.
they give me the sword made with the steel of the Twin Towers, and if you don't cry, if you don't feel emotional, something's wrong with you. So there's a bunch of positions they need to reach. One thing I want to stress out, I know we are, our fucking motherfucker ego is on the roof, but we need to be able to ask for help. Because the reality, if you don't ask for help, maybe people don't know. We need to be able, so veteran needs to reach, don't be ashamed to reach other veterans to ask for help. Don't be ashamed. Because then you feel lonely. And there's nothing bad to ask for help. I ask for help several times to God, to other people. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do listen and understand what's happening anyway. But that's another thing. But yeah, so it's and don't forget, guys, we are all humans. We are on this planet all together. So be mean, and thank you to our special force guys, man, saying that be mean for free to other people is just wrong. It's just wrong.
Well said. Appreciate you coming in.
No, it's a blessing to be here, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. No, really appreciate it. Because you're local, we may ask you back. If you're
Of course, man.
Yeah. Sometimes what we do is we just pick a topic and roll with it. It'd be great to have you come in and get your opinion on that.
No, today we went to more than heavy stuff, but there's a lot of things that we have some fun. Some of this story that I'm gonna tell you this story. So in the middle of nothing in Afghanistan, there was this operation that we did, and then in this valley, there was huge valley, when we know on the other side of the hill, and the other hill was far away. And nighttime, we see some lights. Sometimes some lights. What the fuck is going on? Some lights, and then problem. We see the light with night vision goggles. So we didn't see light with night vision goggles. So these guys on the other side, they need to have infrared laser or light. So what the fuck they are, right? Mm-hmm. So we took one Barrett caliber 50 handgun and rifle, machine gun, and pointed the laser to the hill. And we did like a circle, right? Ready to engage with what's going to happen. So 2 seconds later, a laser coming our way.
Circle.
And did a circle. So we established, okay, we have the same way to talk. So unless you really know what you're doing, you are on our side, right? 2 minutes later, we called the chain of command to see what's going on. Well, guess what? There was a Delta Force on the other side. They would say the same thing. What the fuck these guys are?
But as soon as they saw the circle.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
I'll never forget that, man. Never forget that. And then we met them the next day, and then when we did the mission, and we got the medal. Blah, blah, blah,
yeah. So maybe we'll have your Navy SEAL friend as well come on.
Well, I mean, it's in California.
Yeah.
And if it's coming to do a movie here, if time comes, I will definitely bring him here.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Especially the two of you together.
Well, then you're going to have so much fun. You're going to have to censor because then you're going to ask, what's up with the movie when we work together and everything? I don't know.
Thanks so much again, Alessandro.
No, thank you guys for having me. And God bless you for you guys doing. It's an honor, and I can't wait to see you again.
Appreciate it.